so feel free to turn off your cameras if you're uncomfortable. So Brian, can you tell us more about what will be covered today?
Good afternoon, Callista. It's great to be here today. So today's program will consist of sharings from various organizations in NUS, as well as from seniors who have had valuable experiences that may be beneficial to your NUS journey ahead. There will also be a quiz at the end, so do stay around for that.
Yes, and we hope that it will be an insightful session for all of you. Before we begin, let us establish some ground rules. First, if you have not already done so, please ensure that your microphone is muted throughout the session. This is to prevent any disruption to the speakers that have graciously volunteered to be with us today. Next, please ensure that your videos are switched off. While we wish to see all of your beautiful faces this afternoon, right, we require everyone to keep your videos off to prevent excessive load on the server. Lastly, if you have any questions during the live show, please do reach out to us via the Zoom chat function seen at the bottom of your screen. Today is the day that we help address any of the questions you have, no matter how big or small, so please ask away. To start the session proper, we have our Dean Designate Associate Professor Ho Han Kiat to share his welcome address.
Hello, class of 2025. I'm delighted to be one of the first to welcome you to NUS. Like many generations of students before you, you will soon discover that university life is much more than a degree scroll at the end of 4 years. And to experience all that, there are many ways you can choose to live this out. Think of your journey as a train ride to a faraway destination. There are many ways a train ride can go. You can choose to spend your time staring at the clock, taking a nap, count sheep throughout the way, or lament about how boring and wasted this time is. Whichever option you take will still take you to the destination. But the journey transforms based on what you decide to do. You may choose to take quality time to look out of the window and notice how beautiful this world really is. Read a book and expand your world by the end of the train ride. Or play some games and deepen your connection with your traveling mates. Which one will you choose? And what is your journey going to look like? I hope it will be one you remember and not one that you will regret. When we think of university as a journey, there really is nothing better to start that journey with than with orientation. Because student life is not just an entry point to the university, it is also part of holistic education to prepare you for the world beyond. Orientation is here to help you start the university experience on a good footing. Some of you may already know many friends, some may know little. And therefore, orientation is designed so that we do not leave things to chance, but to purposefully create a safe and inviting space for everyone to have the opportunity to be accustomed to this new environment, to be excited about the adventures ahead, and prepare yourselves mentally and socially to thrive on this journey. Well, through the activities that your seniors have put together, I hope you will discover the many facilities that NUS has to offer, the opportunities for co-curricular engagements, and a group of close friends that share your passion and values. The activities can eventually become part of your CCAS as you build your NUS community beyond your immediate classrooms. Well, most of all, I hope you will begin to identify with the NUS values and to be groomed towards individuals of questioning mind, well-rounded mind and character, and become constructive and responsible global citizens as well as leaders of tomorrow. Right now, I know you are only too eager to get things going. So, let me end off with a few gentle guidelines to help you make the best of your experience. You are not under any compulsion to participate. Please feel free to immerse yourself in the activities to the level that you are comfortable with. Be assured that there are channels available to listen to your concerns, if any. Second, we are still in the midst of a global pandemic. Hence, please exercise safe distancing measures where indicated. And where it is not indicated, please exercise common sense and sound judgment. When in doubt, please speak with the seniors or staff advisors in charge. Finally, plan wisely. There is always more you can participate in. Just like a buffet line, if you decide to have a little bit of everything, you may end up enjoying less than you imagine. So, set a goal, chart your progress, and capture the moments. What you may not get to do during this season, you still have another 4 years to experience later. With this, I wish you a very memorable and awesome start to your university journey. I look forward to see you around campus.
Once again, that was our Dean Designate, Associate Professor Ho Han Kiet's welcome address. Today, we are very fortunate to have Professor Ho in attendance with us. So Professor Ho, thank you very much for that warm welcome and for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us for today's event. Professor Ho, would you like to say a few words to the freshmen?
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much for having me here this afternoon. Once again, warm welcome to all our incoming students, especially those international students who took a lot of trouble to be here. As we all know, we are still in the midst of COVID-19. So there are additional restrictions that make your stay in Singapore especially challenging. But I think the fact that you can be with us is already a reason for us to celebrate. And hence, I thought instead of just showing you that generic video clip that you just saw, it might be good for me to add a few more words to celebrate this occasion, especially to those of you who are not from Singapore. What I want to say is this. One thing about COVID-19 is that it has created an interesting paradox. COVID-19 has brought us further apart from each other, but yet at the same time closer together. What do I mean by that? I guess we are further apart from each other because of all the travel restriction. And even when we try to do things together, we have to be kept separated because of that safe distancing measures. But yet on the other hand, we are brought closer together because the circumstances will mean that we have to reinvent ourselves and find alternative way to communicate. And the very fact that we have a platform like what we have now already bear testament to how we are making this conscious effort to be closer to each other. And I think it is this same spirit that we should also look at our journey ahead. Whether you are in NUS for 1 semester as part of exchange program, or you are here for a 4-year-long study with us. I think importantly, in this new climate, let us find ways where we can continue to communicate with each other and to find common grounds that we can share. You have earlier also seen about ways where our students also communicate with the community through reaching out and meeting the needs that we see around us. And by giving of our time to the community, that is how we actually can forge closer partnership and bring our own immediate community even closer to each other. So to finish off, just like looking at the situation of COVID-19 at large, this is really one global crisis where we can say that for the first time in our life, for the first time in history, the whole world stand on the same side of a battlefield, waging a war against the disease. And I hope this will be a turning point for the way we look at one another and the way we relate each other. And hopefully your journey through NUS will create more opportunities for you to learn about each other, to stand together, and together we will overcome all the challenges ahead. So with this, I wish you a very enjoyable time this afternoon, as well as the way ahead. So I'll see you around. Have a good time.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Ho, for that inspiring message. I am sure our international friends in the audience are even more excited to join us in NUS now. So before we proceed further, let's have a quick check-in on how everyone is doing today. So we have a quick poll for everyone to fill in. So please do not worry, it's a simple poll and there's no right or wrong answer. So please do select whichever options you feel best represent you today. So the poll is on display on your screens right now. So we'll give everyone about 1 minute to fill in the poll. So we will close the poll at 3:19.
We see a lot of people who are nervous, but also curious and excited. That's like the majority, right?
Yes, that seems like the majority by far. Okay, okay, I mean, while we are waiting for people to fill in the poll, it's like, I know I feel great today, but what about you, Calista? How do you feel today? And what are you looking forward to?
Oh, today I feel a bit sleepy because I slept late, but that's totally my fault. Definitely, I'm excited to stay on campus. I'm moving into Cinnamon College next semester. So I'm excited to, have campus life with my new friends. And for supper Joe's late night supper, all the Maggie mee and instant noodles, fried food.
I see everything usually revolves around food again, but well, I love food too, so I can't complain.
Oh, 85% of people chose new friends as something that they look forward to the most. That's very interesting.
Yeah, but indeed, university is a great time to meet new friends from a variety of backgrounds. So do take the chance to take up different opportunities and meet many new people in NUS. So we'll close the poll off here. So thank you so much for your responses. It's great to see that many of you are also looking forward to today's event. So now, Calista, I'm sure a lot of our participants are eager to hear from our first speaker. So let's get the ball rolling. So we would now like to invite our first speaker, Wan Lin, who is from the NUS Student Union, to share more about the E-Student Life Fair, also known as ESLF. So Wan Lin, thank you very much for joining us today. How are you doing this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm doing great for now. Yeah, and I'm very excited to do my sharing
Okay, thank
in
you
front
very
of so many
much, Wan Lin.
students.
So
Yeah.
do go ahead and share screen when you're ready.
All right. Okay, so can you guys see my screen? Right. Okay, can. I'll move on now. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, OSA, for having me here today. I'm really grateful for the opportunity given to do the sharing in front of y'all. And so here we go. Okay, before we start on the sharing, it would be good to have a brief introduction of me. I'm Wan Lin from Malaysia, actually also an international student. I'm studying economics and is turning year 3 for the upcoming academic year. I'm the project director of NUSSU Student Life Fair 2021. So to clarify a bit, NUSSU is a student union, which is an organization that acts as a bridge between the students and the university administration to promote students' interests and welfare in NUS. I believe once semester starts, you'll get to know more about NUSSU, so I won't go deeper into that. Yeah. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the event that freshmen should be anticipating, because it will impact your university life as a whole. So Student Life Fair, SLF in short, is an annual event that we have in every semester 1 and around week 1 that helps student bodies promoting and publicizing their clubs to all undergraduates. Note that in NUS, we usually call these student bodies as CCAS, also known as co-curricular activities, or just now if you see in the poll, it says extracurricular activities. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah, so later I'll be using the term CCA more as it is easier for me to present the information. Yeah, So you can see here the objectives we have for the event we do. We aim to showcase the vibrancy and diversity of NUS student clubs, societies, and committees to all undergraduates. We hope that students are aware about the dynamism that NUS offers by being the platform for the student bodies to promote and publicize themselves. So you might ask, why should I join these CCAs? So let me tell you, basically for your social life and become a more wholesome individual by honing your skills. So ever since COVID-19 kicks in, CCAs are more important than ever. I can't back you up on the statistics because I don't have one, and I mostly got this information from my juniors. But I could tell you that it is harder to have course friends because classes are going online and it is very unlikely to make friends with people through Zoom. Can't deny, online engagement is just ineffective compared to face-to-face interactions. So joining CCAs help to encounter these issues as you will need to commit yourselves to their activities. They are mostly physical now and usually run at least 2 hours a week or even more. You'll get to make friends there, and of course expect yourself to make long-lasting friendships with people that have the same interests and hobbies as you. So also, as what I mentioned earlier, we have various types of student bodies, and all of them focus on different types of activities, and you'll definitely be brushing up your soft and hard skills. So to improve your soft skills such as leadership, stress management, organizational skills, you can basically join any clubs you want, because being an exco in one of the clubs will already allow you to learn these soft skills. But I would suggest either NUSSU clubs or entrepreneurship society that will definitely be training you with these skills upon entry. In most of the clubs in NUS, they will really hone your hard skills, but it's going to be very particular for each clubs, and you must choose carefully and based on your interests, of course. If you want to learn more about coding or technology, we have NUS Hackers, NUS Drone Club, Computer-Based Learning Center, and more actually. If you want to learn about maybe finance, you can look at NUS Investment Society or NUS FinTech Society. Or if you're interested in music, that's not really like career, okay, not really academic oriented thing. Maybe you can look at NUS Voices, which is a band, NUS Wind Symphony, Guitar Ensemble. With the time limit, I can't really go through all the clubs, but later I will come back to this. Yeah. Some people may ask, would it be okay if I join these clubs if I have zero experience in that particular field? For example, you want to join like a drone club, but you never experienced using drone before. So from what I know, most clubs welcome beginners and they usually don't mind to provide trainings as long as you show the determination and passion. So for example, sports group. Though they have people in the group that play competitively, like a team NUS that represent NUS to join in competitions, but they're also recruiting like novice. So they can start with training you guys with these basics. So do note that only undergraduates can join the organizations. So being a member, I mean. So for exchange students, you guys can still join the activities, but getting a membership might not be possible, so you might need to check with the CCA representative again in the future, like, yeah. Okay, so, sorry. All in all, I only mentioned the good things of CCAs, right? So, but don't forget, we are students and our primary goal is to do well and learn well in academics. So joining CCAs might be a bad thing if you don't choose and plan wisely. So here's my advice. First, set up your academic goals. Do make sure that other than class time, you have set aside enough time for studies and revisions. Then you can start working on your CCA plan. How many CCAs do you want to join and what type of CCAs do you want to join? When are the busy periods for the CCAs you are joining, and would it clash, like for example your finals or midterms? Yeah, all these you should factor into your plan before signing up for the groups. So most of these questions can only be answered if you know more about the CCAs. So how do you get this information? Well, here's the answer. This is where SLF steps in. As a CCA fair, we will have different groups of CCA representatives coming down and be there to attend your queries. Although sadly this year we are unable to have physical event, but moving online will not stop these seniors to welcome you in their CCAs and have fun. Here are the key details of the event. As I mentioned, it is going to happen in every semester week 1. This time it happens from August 11 to 13, so which is Wednesday to Friday. The virtual booths will be open from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and the Zoom links will be sent out sooner during the event. As long as you're an NUS student, you can join the meeting with your student account, which means you'll have to sign in with your NUSNet email. Yeah. And as for the live at NUS that happens from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., it is a YouTube live stream that includes events like panel discussions with the CCA representatives and also their performances. We'll also be hosting giveaways during opening ceremony and during the closing ceremony. Also, the closing ceremony will have the grand lucky draw as well, so stay tuned. There are more exciting stuff during Student Life Fair, but I can't share with you more because of the time limitation. Yeah, so I hope that y'all can dig them out. So here are the social medias where you can find all the important information of the event as well as some giveaways that we are doing. So on Instagram, we have NUS Student Life, which will be using this Instagram to post a lot of stuff, and also the Telegram channel as well. And you guys can find it now on Instagram and Telegram channel. But for the Telegram bot, it is not yet to be launched because we are still doing some testing and all. So it will be launched sooner during the event itself. So stay tuned. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, thank you, Anlin. Just a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that some freshmen, right, they are very interested in finding out about these kind of opportunities, but they might not be free to attend SLF. So are there any other platforms that these students can use to find out information about NUS activities and other opportunities?
Yeah. Actually, there's a student organization directory under OSA website. So if you type NUS OSA, you go to the OSA website. There's one way you can find out about this. What CCAS we have in NUS. Yeah, the website also helps directing you to the NUSing page of the CCA for you so that you can find the latest information there as well. Yeah, so NUSing page, to clarify a bit, NUSing page is NUSing is actually a social media that NUS is doing, and like there's a lot of information there, so you guys can you guys will definitely want to check them out. So it's called NUSYNC NUSing. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay, maybe just like a parting question from me. It's like, you know, there was a lot of information given, right? And like maybe some of the international friends in the audience are feeling a little overwhelmed by like all the opportunities available. And like, I can understand that feeling, you know, it's like we have so many choices that you can like decide on. It's like difficult to decide what to take because there's so many things that you want to try. So like perhaps as a parting question here, could you share your thoughts on how like our international friends in the audience can make the most of like their upcoming university life in NUS?
As mentioned in my presentation, and also like the opening that Prof. Ho Hankiet mentioned, like start planning your student life earlier and have clearer goals on what you want to achieve in both academics and non-academic aspects. So yeah, my advice is start from academics first when you're planning, because we're students after all. Then with the remaining time, it can be for non-academic stuff, such as CCAs and maybe your work or like your social life, like with like outing with friends. Okay, I don't encourage outing now because it's COVID, but yeah. So have some online activities with your friends, like Zoom games or something like that. And don't forget to allocate some time for resting and exercise as well, because you don't make sure that you don't burn out. You don't want to burn out like during the semester. Yeah. After planning and of course times for execution, so like follow your plan and enjoy your student life. Yeah, that's mainly what I can say. So yeah, now like during the summer break, you guys can, I mean before the semester starts, you guys have a lot of free time. I think so. Yeah, and so do check out all the websites and platforms that are provided to you. Yeah, that's the thing that I can say.
Okay, Thank you, Anlin, for the insightful information. Well, actually, SLF, right, is very useful for seniors also. And it's very convenient that it's online, right? It's perfect for homebodies like me. You can join from the comfort of your home in your pajamas, wake up just 5 minutes before. Okay, I'll stop
Yeah.
exposing myself now.
Certainly,
Yeah.
I agree, Calista. So, really, as you mentioned, there's no need to dress to impress either, because you can always join from the comfort of your home. So there are many CCAs available for students to join, and I'm sure our friends in the audience are curious about more specific events that they can look forward to in NUS. So to share more on the selection of events available to students, we have invited iCARE, a student-led group aimed to help international students feel at home, to share more about the events they have organized for the NUS student body. Today, we are very glad to have Lin Ning with us to share more about iCARE. So good afternoon, Lin Ning. Thank you very much for joining us. So how are you doing today?
Yes, I'm feeling good today. Thank you so much for having me as well. Yeah, so as mentioned by Wan Ling, there's a lot of CCAs for you to choose from, and I think iCARE is one of the CCAs that you can consider as well. So I think I can start with my sharing.
Oh yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Let me share screen. Is it okay? Can you see the screen? Okay. All right, so thank you everyone. And hello everyone, this is Ling Ying. I'm the representative from iCARE today. Thank you OSA for giving us the time to share about our student interest group to all of you here. We hope that through this, you will get to know a little more about iCARE and consider joining some of our upcoming events that may be of your interest, or even join us as a member and be part of our team. So here's the agenda for today. I will briefly introduce what is iCARE, showcase some of the events that we have done in the past, and lastly, what we have in store for all of you here in this coming new academic year. So we are a student interest group that focuses on organizing and planning initiatives that aim to provide opportunities for both international and local students to engage in cross-cultural interactions. So in addition, these interactions will facilitate cultural exchange and help international students adapt and integrate to life in NUS as well as Singapore. So lastly, iCARE is also supported by Office of Student Affairs, or OSA in short. And as you can see over here on the bottom left of the screen, this is our iCARE mascot named Ota the Otter. So it is specially designed by our publicity team. So you will probably spot Ota quite a lot on our social media platforms, so make sure to check them out. So some of the past events that we had, for instance, SG Makan Kaki in last semester too. So here in Singapore, the word makan means to eat or to have a meal, whereas kaki refers to buddy or to describe a close friend. So when you put them into a phrase, it actually means friends who have meals together. So actually, these are some of the more common terms that you might probably come across during your stay here in Singapore. And as you can see from the pictures over here, SG Makan Kaki provided a platform for students to taste and learn about various local dishes. At the same time, exploring some of the very authentic food locations enjoyed by the locals, and also bonding with students from different faculties and backgrounds that really help them enhance their stay over here. We also had SG tours, and last semester we held the event at Gardens by the Bay, as well as other places such as Joo Chiat Road that allowed participants to explore some of our urban landscapes and historical pristines. So in addition, participants also engaged in traditional games along with the local facilitators as they explored the various locations, and they even attended a coffee sharing session at Okada Coffee and Sweets, as seen from the picture on the right. Yeah. So another event that we had was the Cultural Burst last semester too. So this was a series of events consisting of a performance screening and various workshops initiated by our relations team, which was aimed to introduce various cultures to participants. So for instance, for the outdoor performance screening was put together so that we can promote our extremely talented student groups in NUS from various cultural backgrounds. So in addition, Cultural Burst also consisted of manga and batik workshops for participants to get more hands-on in various cultural art forms as well. So having said so much, this year we are introducing iCARE Week 2021 to you. So iCARE Week is a 3-day online event to welcome our incoming international students. So this will be targeting international students here for long-term studies, as well as students who are also here on exchange programs. So we hope that this will be a great opportunity for you to kickstart your new academic year or to dive into your stay here in Singapore by making some new friends and interact with locals and fellow international students, while at the same time also learn something new about Singapore or the local culture here. And whilst the previous events I have introduced were all conducted face-to-face when the COVID situation allowed, this time around, iCARE Week will be entirely online, held via Zoom. So you can join from the comforts of your home, hostel, or wherever you may be currently at. So however, since this is a full online event, it will be recommended to have a laptop or computer device, and stable Wi-Fi connection to ensure the best experience for the 3 days of games and interactions. So the program timeline for iCARE Week is as such. So the entire event will take place in week 1 of semester 1 from 12 to 14 August. So from Thursday to Saturday. So day 1 and day 2 will be from 8 to around 10 p.m. and day 3 will be from 1 to around 4 p.m. So day 1 and day 2 will be some introduction, icebreakers, and the games fiesta, whereby teams will engage in some competitive games that can also help them to boost up your knowledge and understanding about local lifestyle or facts or cultural aspects of Singapore. So through the first 2 days of Games Fiesta, we hope that we will warm you all up in your various teams, such that on day 3, which will be the finale for iCARE Week, each team will participate in a virtual investigative mystery to solve riddles and puzzles together with your teammates and to emerge as the fastest team. So if you want to know more about what's in store for iCARE Week 2021, do use this link to sign up, or feel free to take a screenshot. You can just scan the QR code on the screen. We will also send the sign up link via the chat box so that you can directly access the sign up link. So our events teams have been working throughout the summer to put this together for all of you, and we really hope to see you all in iCARE Week 2021. I will give you a little bit of time. If you want to take a screenshot, scan the QR code before I move on to the next slide. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we are also available on various social media platforms such as Telegram, Facebook, and Instagram. So if you wish to know more updates about iCARE Week or iCARE in general, you can connect with us via these social media platforms. Feel free to reach out to us via our email as well. Yeah, so for international students who are here for long-term studies, we're also looking forward to seeing you guys in iCARE and be part of the iCARE team. And in fact, many of our current iCARE members are also international students who are passionate in contributing to the international community here in NUS. Whereas for students here on exchange, feel free to connect with us through these platforms as well. We also strongly encourage you all to join our events during our semester of exchange here. Yeah, so you can scan the QR code here to access iCARE via NUS Sync. And thank you, and we hope to see you in iCARE and in our events in this coming semester.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing that information with us, Lining. So, okay, so the QR code will be on display for a while. So if you wish to scan the QR code, please do so. So, Lining, I have a question for you if you don't mind. So yeah, I'm sure our friends in the audience are like really looking forward to like these events that iCARE has planned. And so like, as you mentioned earlier and looking at all those past photos, right? It's great to see that many international students do take part in these events, but as with moving to a new country, like some students may be a bit concerned about the language barrier, especially if they are traveling to a country where the main medium of like instruction is not the same as their home country. So is this a significant concern when attending iCARE events? So like perhaps you could like offer some advice on this matter for them.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, I think it's very natural for us to have that kind of a little bit nervous when you come to a new country, and especially when you feel like you might not be as confident when communicating in English as compared to your first language. But I think when it comes to the concept of language barrier, I think it will not be too much of an issue when you join iCARE events. Because in fact, currently we have a diversity of team members who are also international students themselves. And they have probably also felt the same as you when they first started off their journey here in Singapore. So I think they are the ones who will really understand you as well. Yeah, and then most of them have also actually chosen to join iCARE even in their first year in NUS. So I'm sure you won't feel alone when it comes to this. Another point I want to reassure you is that we generally tend to use less of Singlish during our events. And I think some of you will probably know, or the locals are very familiar with this. Singlish is a localized version of English that many Singaporeans use in daily conversations. So this might be something somewhat unfamiliar to the international students when you come here for the first time. But if we do use any of these terms, just like makan kaki as mentioned previously, if we do use any of these terms, we'll try our best to explain what it is, what's the context, and how we use it, so that you can also get more familiar with these terms. Yeah. So and then we will really welcome you to clarify with us any terms or questions if you have, whenever they want to. Yeah. So I hope that with the support from the team members and our local facilitators, I just want to reassure you that language barrier will not hinder your experience, but more importantly, to enjoy the interactions that you can get to be engaged in, and the friendships that you can actually forge along the way. I think all this will help a long way during your stay here. So yeah, don't have to be too concerned about language barrier. Yeah, that's all from my side. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Li Ning. These events are sure like a great way to meet different people from different backgrounds and cultures. So wouldn't you be excited to join a couple of them, Brian?
Yep, definitely. It's like hopefully the COVID-19 situation improves by the time the semester starts, so that we can look forward to like more in-person events later in the year. So though looking at past events, I would love to join the makan kakis. So I mean, you know me, like food is my only love. So what about you, Callista? What will you join?
Yeah, definitely I'll go for the food. My motto is food 100% all the time, okay? But looking back, there are actually some really good events. Like there's the game fiestas, right? I think there'll be a very good break from studies and like the hustle and bustle of daily life, especially because, COVID-19 kind of just sucks the life out of all of us.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna just repeat what you said there earlier. So food 100% all the time.
Yes.
So these are wise words to live by. So I'm gonna quote this from now if you don't mind.
Yes.
But as you did say, the games fiesta does sound really interesting as well. So it's gonna be very difficult to decide like which event to go for first. So it's great to see that despite the pandemic situation, iCARE is just as dedicated as ever, or even more dedicated in its mission to forge friends beyond borders.
That's true. In this situation, like it's more important than ever to have cross-cultural friendships and have avenues for students and for ourselves to turn to for support, right? Besides just family members.
That is true. So since we are on the topic of support systems, I feel it is timely to invite our next speaker, Beverly, who is from the Peer Student Supporters, to share more about how you can maintain your mental wellness. So good afternoon, Beverly. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me here. I'm very excited to share with you something that is especially close to my heart. So without further ado, let me just share screen. I think with reference to all my previous speakers, you are in for a very interesting ride, exciting ride in university. And more importantly, there's a lot of facets in university. There is the academics, there is the many CCAs, as Wan Lin has said, and also the interactions that you have with new people, new friends. And I think it is pretty overwhelming to have to cope with all these things. But I think there's one thing that you must not forget to do, and that is to spend some me time. Take a break from all these things and just enjoy some time alone, sometime doing things that you can chill and relax to. So what is mental health, right? This thing is a recent fad. I must say everyone's been talking about it more and more. People are aware of what mental health is and the importance of it. And personally, I feel that mental health is as important as our physical health. So like how we would spend time at the gym, go and run, we will take care of our physical health. Because we know that we need to keep healthy, and especially now that there is a COVID situation going on, immune is very important. Parallel to that, our mental health also has this sort of immune system. So when you don't take care of your mental health and you are faced with an extra distressing situation, that is when it can take a toll and result in mental health issues. Apart from that, mental health also will affect your productivity. Now, a lot of times we think that taking breaks is a waste of time. Might as well just quickly finish your work, right? Or on another hand, there's also some of us, me inclusive, that procrastinates and don't do our work. So there's no balance also. So a balanced mental health schedule, in a sense that you do your work and also make sure that you take frequent, regular breaks, will help to improve our productivity. Also, having a good mental health will help establish relationships. I believe that now that you're entering into university, you're more than excited to meet friends. Maybe even meet the one here. But anyway, you get what I mean. So we need to have a good mental health to be able to regulate our emotions so that we can relate to people better. And therefore, it also affects our mood. Yeah, I don't think anyone would want to be with someone or to be someone who goes through constant mood swings. So we would want a regular emotions. Our emotions need to be regulated, and that is all part of taking care of our mental health. Now, after I lecture so much about what mental health is, let me go into the practical skills. Exactly how can we take care of our mental health? Before I throw this whole list on you, let me just assure you that taking care of mental health is a lifestyle, not one more thing to add to the to-do list. Now, later I will elaborate on what Pit Stop is. This is a very cool and fun place in NUS. But first, let me introduce this acronym, Pit Stop, that represents 7 different things that you can do to take yourself away from work and to take care of your mental health. Firstly, we have P, personal skills. Things like mindful breathing, managing your schedules, checking with emotions. It does not need to be anything big. Just taking some time to deep breathe is all it takes sometimes to take yourself away from a stressful situation and manage those emotions. Secondly, I, interaction. Yeah, as I've mentioned, interaction is very important. No man's an island. So instead of being overly tired with different social events, interaction is more about finding a core support group, people that you can heart-to-heart talk with. Now, T, timeout. This is something that a lot of us may not remember to do because we might be too engrossed in whatever we're doing, whether it's work or play. But sometimes we need to come out of a situation to clear our minds a little, to rest and to recharge. And that's it. Of course, sleep is important, but I think university students hardly ever sleep, as I heard mentioned about supper and all that, right? Yeah, so you can guess how little sleep we get, but do remember when you have time. Now, the next T, thoughtful eating. So you might think it's just a meal, just rush through it, get it over and done with. But actually having a meal with people especially and taking your time to enjoy what you're eating is just a very simple way of taking care of your mental health as well. Now, for the more fit and sporty people, on the move. So regular exercise, of course, as you know, increases endorphins and does help us to feel more relaxed. And lastly, something that I personally resonate with most. I believe that what keeps you going is what got you started. So do find a purpose in everything you do, and that will keep you motivated. Now, of course, we would love that everyone is able to have a very peak mental health, but we cannot deny that sometimes when things take a toll and we meet with distressing situations, we do need to find someone to talk to. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a normal process of going through our emotions and being able to find someone professional to help us with our problems. So with that, there is the University Health Center at opposite Yusof Ishak House. So they provide counseling services. You can email them or call them up. And of course, in a more dire situation, there is a lifeline that is available for 24 hours at 6516-7777. Also, we have a general one, Samaritans of Singapore, and the hotline is over there. These will be flashed again later for you to take note, or if you want to do a screenshot now, feel free to. And of course, since I realize I have yet to introduce and more importantly publicize that I'm a peer student supporter at one of the pit stops at the Yusof Ishak House. And what we do is that we provide a listening ear to anyone who can just walk in, come and talk to us. So feel free if you would like to find someone to talk to without any professional advice, just a friend. And okay, without further ado, so we peer student supporters are situated at this pit stop. While there are a few pit stops all over NUS, there are some at the faculties. The one I'm from is at Yusof Ishak House. It is opposite the subway. You would think that it looks like some atas place, aircon place that students cannot enter, but fret not, students can enter. In fact, please do, because there are a lot of cool stuff inside that I'll show you in a video. But my personal favorite is the massage chair. So you can play Switch as well. And after much persuasion, they have also gotten a foosball table, much to my delight. On top of that, this pit stop, our peer student supporters also organize a lot of workshops and events once in a while during the semester. So if you would like to find out more information, do follow us at nus.pss. Also, as we have not firmed up the timings and the opening hours of this pit stop, so do follow us to receive more updates. So let me just show you a quick video on what pit stop is like and what you can expect to see there. Okay, let me just share with the sound again.
Great space where you can relax, meet friends. There's friendly people who are happy to hang out with you and play some ping pong, play a board game.
The environment has that energy that makes you happy. So I think it really helps you get rid of that homesickness, so like the fact that you live here and you don't have friends.
I think pit stop is a good way for us to relax. For example, you have the game room here and they have the massage chair and also a room for sleeping.
Just a disclaimer, this video was taken pre-COVID times. That's why they're maskless and all. Okay, due to the limited time I have, I'm not able to elaborate much on what mental health is and what you can do to take care of it. But if you're more interested, you can check out our podcast, Conversations on the Move, or you can also scan the QR code over here or go to the link. Yes, so thank you very much for having me here. I'll open the floor for questions.
Okay, thank you, Beverly. So for those of you who did not manage to catch the list of helplines earlier, we will flash it out briefly here on the slides. And in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, feel free to send them in the chat.
So I was just making a comment after hearing your sharing. So now that it's the holidays, right? I think it's really the perfect chance to try incorporating one or two pit stop principles into your lives, so that you can just prepare a little bit for when university starts. So I think for me, I've been subconsciously doing the healthy eating, thoughtful eating pit stop principle. And I think largely it's because there's no supper place here as compared to when staying in campus. So yeah, but what about you, Callista?
I was saying this just now, but I would like to try have a healthier sleep schedule, especially because my panda eyes are getting so bad. No eye cream can fix this, okay? These eye bags are not Prada, they're not Gucci. I don't need this.
Now that you mention it, I wonder why I saw a panda last semester. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. The links are on the Zoom chat instead of the slides, so you can refer to that if you need, like the helplines. Yep. Okay, Brian, you were saying?
Oh, no, go ahead. Okay, so yes. Do we have any questions from the floor? Okay, it does not really seem like it. So I think once again, thank you very much, Beverly, for joining us today. So I think we'll close off this component here. So now moving on, we have heard a lot about the support systems that are available in NUS, but I think our freshmen are like interested to know more about how their seniors have adjusted. Wouldn't you agree, Callista?
Yes, I agree. It's always great to hear from those who have been in your shoes before, and I'm sure that our international freshmen in the audience will be very excited to hear from them as well. And who knows, as seniors, we could also learn a thing or two from our peers.
That is certainly true. So without further ado, with us today, we have Melissa and Seme, who are here to share with us about their experiences in adapting to life in Singapore. So Melissa and Seme, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us today. So before we start your sharing, so can I ask a quick question? So are y'all staying in Singapore at the moment during this summer break, or have y'all gone home for the holidays?
I think for both Sama and I, we are currently still in Singapore. We haven't really gone back, and we've just been doing stuff in Singapore throughout the summer.
Yeah, because of the travel restrictions, really can't go back. So yeah, staying in NUS right now.
It's great to hear that you're both doing well and staying safe. But before we hand over the time to you, right? Okay, Melissa, what is one food you will recommend for the incoming international students to try in Singapore?
I think I remember being obsessed with the Laupan beancurd. It's
Oh,
the famous beancurd in Singapore, and I think it's good if everyone can get to try that.
oh yes, okay, Laupan beancurd is super good. Okay, you heard it here first, freshies. Okay, we hope you are looking forward to the good food in Singapore. All right, Melissa, would you like to take over?
Yeah. Share my screen. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Before I start, I'm Melissa, as introduced by Callista and Brian. And before I start, I would like to thank the organizing committee for actually inviting me to share a glimpse of like what my life is like as an international student. And yeah, with that being said, first let me introduce myself. Again, I'm Melissa, and I'm currently a year 2 studying business administration. And I live on campus in one of the residential colleges. To be exact, it's called Cinnamon College. And I'm actually from Indonesia. I came to Singapore around almost 6 years ago when I was around 15 years old. Yeah, so for the past 6 years, a lot of things have happened. And to briefly bring all of you through my journey, I first joined the Singapore educational system as a secondary 3 student, and I joined CHIJ Secondary School before I moved on to join St. Andrews Junior College for my pre-university education. And after that, after I graduate from SAJC, now I'm here at NUS. Yeah, so I think to sum up briefly on what has happened for the past 6 years, for me, I feel that I've grown a lot for the past 6 years, and I think I would like to highlight my biggest growth in terms of my leadership journey. So as part of the community, I feel that it helps me to feel a sense of belonging to the community if I take up some leadership positions. As such, throughout the past 6 years, I've kind of grateful to be able to become the house captain for back in my junior college, and also become one of the executive committee members of the student council. And when I came to NUS, I kind of continue my leadership journey, and I become the financial secretary of the BZ Club, which is also known as the Business Administration Student Club, as one of the clubs that Wan Lin mentioned just now. And also, I'm one of the ultimate frisbee captains for my team in the residential college. Along the way, although it's true that these leadership positions allow me to gel better with my communities, I think one important aspect that makes me feel like I truly belong to the community is the friends that I've made along the way. So it has been a joy to be able to grow as an individual, but it is also a greater joy to know that I've grown alongside my friends that I've made at different stages of my life. And of course, as international students, each one of us will have different experiences and exposure. Some of you may find your own ways to enjoy your time here as international students. But looking back, I think I can encapsulate that my attitude towards this whole once foreign environment with 3 O's. So my first O is that it's all about being open-minded. I think I consciously remind myself that it is crucial to challenge myself and keep an eye on opportunities that I can take, so that I can help myself to grow out of my comfort zone and eventually grow as an individual. I think this is very well reflected by how I proactively try to be more involved in my community and try to meet more people and connect with more people so that I can in the end understand my community better. And next, I will also focus on being optimistic. Not going to lie, there are a lot of hardships that international students can face. One of them can be homesickness, results not being up to expectation, or just basically not really understanding what's going on, because I guess we all know that it takes some time for us to familiarize ourselves with the environment. And I think it is important to remember that we can always take things slow and just be optimistic, and that everything will fall into place as time goes by. And we can always go at our own pace. No one's rushing you to settle in, and just be nice to ourselves and be optimistic about it. And this actually ties in very nicely with my next O, which is objectives. For me personally, I like knowing the goals that I have to work towards. And the best way for me is to break down my main goal, my one big main goal, into smaller, tangible, actionable goals that are realistic for me. So I focus more on the aspect of making it realistic for me, because I understand that for me, if I were to make super ambitious dreams, it will be hard for me to achieve it in the long run, and I'm not feeling burnt out. That's why I kind of make sure that I break down my goals into smaller goals. And I guess in the end, it's up to all of you on how you all want to set your objectives and how you all want to achieve it. But I think most generally, whatever that I've shared in this screen is very relevant elsewhere, not even just as international student, but later when you're working in your working world and whatnot. So I hope that these 3 O's can kind of help to be your reminders to adopt these attitudes, so that we can thrive well in like a foreign country or environment. With that, I think just now, as my time is running out, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to reflect on my journey and share it with all of you. And I hope that all of you can have a pleasant time studying as a NUS student. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much for sharing that with us, Melissa. So earlier you did mention that homesickness is one challenge that an international student can face when they study overseas. So now, how did you go about like mitigating this challenge, or was it even a challenge for you actually?
I think I would say that it was definitely a challenge for me, especially since I would say that I came here pretty young. And I think one of the more helpful things that was good for me is that I came here with a bunch of friends from my fellow Indonesians. So connecting with them is definitely helped. And we also like to look for Indonesian food here in Singapore, just to make sure like we feel a little bit more closer to home than we are. So I guess that's our way of coping. Yeah.
Okay, so is the Indonesian food in Singapore good though?
I would say better than nothing.
Okay. So I guess our friends in the audience can always look forward to finding their local cuisine in Singapore, like if they ever feel the need to, or to have a little bit of a taste of home. So thank you very much for that sharing, Melissa. So I think now we'll move on to Sammy's presentation. So Sammy, when you're ready.
Yeah, sure. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right, sure. So hi everyone, I'm Same, and this is my NUS story. I'm a Year 2 student majoring in computer science and part of the University Scholars Program, or also known as USP. To provide some background, I first came to Singapore on a scholarship back in 2018 and went to Meridian Junior College, now known as Tampines Meridian Junior College. The subjects I studied were the 4 H2s, physics, chemistry, math, and economics, and history math as well. The experience of moving to Singapore all by myself was a completely new challenge for me, and it took me some time to get used to not being homesick. I made this journey again when I came to NUS last year during the COVID period. And even though this time it was not my first time, I still faced some challenges. I lost some of my JC contacts as some of them were busy with NS, which is National Service. And also it had been a long time since I saw the rest of them. So it was like a fresh new experience all over again. Now, I will shed some more light on my NUS journey. Sorry. Yeah. As I was coming in a COVID semester, I knew that the experience will not be the same as what I've heard from seniors. So I decided to not have high expectations for the upcoming year, at least until the situation improved. Reflecting now, this was a great decision because it helped me to be welcoming to all types of new experiences, whether it be online Zoom lessons or social hangouts in limited settings. Let me explain more about how COVID impacted my academic and community life in NUS. For the academic aspect, in the first semester, all my modules were online on Zoom. And if I have to choose which one was the best out of them, I will choose CS1101S, Programming Methodology. This was one of the foundational modules that one takes as part of computer science. Even though online learning can be tough, this module was my favorite, as I liked the content taught and the way my tutor put effort into engaging the class and providing additional material. As you can see in the slides, my tutorial group made a line following robot and gave instructions to it using code. Since all of us could not meet physically, we divided the work such as that I and my friend would work on the robot physically, while the rest can send the commands online, and this was a very fun experience. I made some great friends in the class that I still catch up with once in a while. In the second semester, as the restrictions relaxed, I took my first face-to-face class, which was the Social Life of Science, taught by Dr. Catherine McCary, a USP module. This module was one of the major reasons I came to USP. Before coming to university, I knew that as I will be in a science-heavy course, I will not get the opportunity to practice my writing skills as much as I want to. I also believe that it's very important for me to know how to express myself in words and critically think about the information that I intake, whether it be in my home course or just general day-to-day life. This module was the perfect foundation for me to learn all these skills that I otherwise would not learn in my home course. And as the topic was on the social aspect of science, the content taught was very interesting as well. I took this module with some of my other CS friends in USP, and it was a great fun learning process for all of us. On the slides, you can see the introduction of my final research paper on Alexa, which was quite nice as I myself own an Alexa. Now let us move on to how COVID impacted my community life. Over the past year, I have been staying at the Cinnamon Residential College at Newtown, same as Callista actually. Apart from the people I meet in modules, there are 3 more avenues to NUS community life: RC events, suite life, and interest groups. I believe that every hall or RC has a house system, and for me, I'm in a SEA or the greenhouse, and these were the first people I met when I entered USP. Whether it be the formal house events organized by the HouseCom, such as picnics, birthday celebrations, etc., or the informal gatherings to study, have dinner in the common dining hall, and play contract bridge, my favorite card game. These are the people that I'm closest to in USP. In the slide, you can see pictures of two of the numerous experiences that I had with them. We went for a hike to Bukit Timah Hill, and also there was a USP-wide event in semester 2, and we took a photo near the banner as well. This group of people was always there for me when I needed them, and they are the reasons why I gained a bit of weight when I first entered university due to the daily supper shows at Super Snacks in Newtown. For those who do not know what supper show is, it's usually when your friends ask you out for a late night snack to fuel that midnight grind. Yeah. So my sweet life has been a memorable part of my experience in NUS till now. Whenever I got tired from online classes and meetings, I could just hang out with my sweet mates in the common lounge and go for supper shows or have late night talks. The picture in the slide is from a hot pot that we had at the end of semester 1, where we got all the ingredients and cooked everything, even though none of us knew how to cook. Sometimes I and my sweet mates would bring our dinner up to this lounge and eat there together instead. And it's a nice memory, as it helped me to unwind and de-stress after a long day of classes and work. Finally, but not the least important aspect of my NUS journey are the interest groups that I am part of. When I first entered NUS, I heard that CCAS were very high commitment and they would take up a lot of time like in JC. Even though that information that I got was wrong, I still wanted to learn, I still want to take up something that had less commitment, and I wanted to continue playing badminton and learn a new sport as well. That's where USP's interest groups or IGs came in. The interest groups were a great avenue for me to meet new people and wind down doing what I like at the same time. On the left, there's me playing chokeball in the inter-college games, a sport that I never played before coming to uni. And on the right, you can see a session of badminton that I hold weekly, being the captain of the badminton interest group. There's also Connect Tuition, where I tutor neighborhood kids weekly. These IGs are what I look forward to in the week, and they will continue to play an integral role in my USP life. All in all, NUS is why I consider at university to be the best years of my life till now. It continues to develop me into a curious, critical, courageous, and engaged human being. Some of my most important takeaways, especially for international students, would be to find a community in NUS that can become your family away from home, and to have a proper balance of work, study, and play. Even though most of your classes might be online, and that might make it hard to make friends, I would still recommend joining CCAs or interest groups in RCs or halls, as these are the perfect avenue to meet people as we wait for the old normal to resume. Well, that was my NUS story. What will be yours?
All right, thank you, Sami. Okay, so for those of you who didn't catch, Sami actually stays in Cinnamon, which is in UTown, and there are a few other residential colleges and UTown residences in UTown as well. So on that note, right, Sami, what is your UTown food recommendation for the freshies?
Food recommendation.
Yes.
Like as I mentioned, I go for supper juice a lot and to Super Snacks. So Super Snacks is like a food place that is open till like 2 a.m. at night. So they have quesadillas as well, and I like the mushroom quesadilla. Like I like mushrooms in general, but the mushroom quesadilla is quite nice. Yeah.
Okay, mushroom quesadilla. I will take notes of it next time I go to Super Snacks. I will stop talking about food now. Brian?
Okay, thank you, Melissa and Sami. So it's really interesting to see how one can forge their own unique university journey with the different opportunities that they take up. So Sami, before we let you go, we did ask Melissa an extra question earlier. So to be fair, like, let's ask you another one here. So do you have any like words of inspiration to offer our incoming international students?
Inspiration. I don't really know if I can inspire, but there's one motto that I use that maybe I can share, and it's like work hard, play hard. So like make sure that you have a good balance actually, because it's very important, and especially in uni. Because I think for my semester 1, I burnt out a bit, but semester 2, I balanced out more. I used to go for more sports and like more social activities, and that helped me to survive the semester. Yeah. So definitely work hard and play hard. Yeah.
Okay, that's very inspirational actually indeed, Sami. So thank you very much. Okay, so once again, thank you very much to not just Melissa and Sami, but also all our speakers who took the time to join us for today's event.
Yes, thank you for coming. Okay, last but not least, before we move on to the Kahoot quiz, we have Iza from the Office of Student Affairs with us to give us an important administrative briefing. So the applications that she will share, applications and websites, they will be integral to university life. So do remember to note them down.
Okay, thank you so much, Calista and Brian, for inviting me. It's 4:15, but okay, I'm just going to be sharing on these applications and portals, which will be very useful for you in your NUS student life. Okay, so without further ado, let me just begin my presentation. So the first thing is the necessities. Okay, so so these are the things that I will be sharing in my segment. Okay, so the first thing is the safe management measures, which we also call SMM. Okay, so I think if you're in Singapore, you know, there's really a lot of abbreviations that we use. So maybe the next slide. Safe management measures is called SMM. So all NUS students and in fact staffs also would have to observe all safe management measures in our campuses, which includes safe distancing. Okay, so you have to stand at least 1 meter apart from each other, whether you're doing activities or wherever you are in campus or in Singapore. Wearing of masks at all times. So even if you have meals in Singapore, you would have to put on your mask right after you finish your meals. Okay. And also you would have to declare your temperature through the Universe application. So I will share a little bit more on the Universe application a bit later. So just take note of this. So everyone would have to declare your temperature every day. Yeah, even on weekends. Okay. So I think in Universe, you can actually switch on the notifications to notify you to take your temperature every day. So don't have to worry about that. Also the use of Trace Together application. So Trace Together is this application that we use in Singapore for contact tracing purposes. So before you go to any place, right, you would have to scan the QR code and you have to contact trace basically. So Trace Together is a very important application to download. It's available in the App Store and Google Play Store. Yep. Okay. So next slide. Yeah, so now I'll be sharing a little bit more about Universe, which I've mentioned earlier. So, okay, next slide. Okay, so due to COVID-19 in Singapore, right, so NUS has implemented several measures to manage the situation. So one of it includes using Universe as an app for swift contact tracing. So I'll be sharing a little bit more on all these things that are related to Universe. Firstly, you would have to declare your temperature every day, as mentioned. So you can see here the screen, right? On the screen, how you can actually declare your temperature is very quick and very easy. In order for you to obtain the green pass also. So the NUS Safe Green Pass is required to purchase food on campus and to board the NUS buses. So if you're in campus, you would need the pass before you buy your food, before you buy all the Singaporean food that the previous speakers have talked about. So you would also actually have to be connected to NUS Wi-Fi and complete your daily temperature declaration to obtain the green pass. So as you can see on the screen, it's actually a red pass, right? So it means it shows that you are not connected to NUS Wi-Fi. So you would have to connect to NUS Wi-Fi in order to obtain the green pass. Okay, and at the same time, you'd also have to download Trace Together in order to obtain the green pass on NUS Safe. Okay, so if you do have any sort of feedback or issues related to COVID-19 or safe management measures, you can actually direct your queries to covid-19@nus.edu.sg as shown on the screen. Yep. Okay, so next slide. So I've mentioned about Universe and having to declare your temperature, but at the same time, right, Universe is also a very useful application, I would say. So Universe is actually more than that. It works by linking up or providing convenient access to the different key NUS services and resources that we have that is related to campus amenities, student life, academic matters, and more information and more resources. So based on student feedback and preferences, the team behind Universe has actually launched a new user interface, which was also designed by a fellow student. Yeah, so you can actually personalize your own interface based on what you feel is more important in your own needs. Yep, okay, next slide. Yep, so the new user interface, right, it really has a variety of features to enhance your student experience in NUS. So one feature that you can actually note is the NUS Next Bus widget, which allows you to conveniently view the bus arrival timings on campus. So you can actually just download this app and you can explore it. There's really a lot of features and widgets for you to use and to get used to. So we also have resources which host a consolidated library of NUS information and websites and can quickly direct you to the details that you are looking for. Yep. Okay. And you also can get involved in the app development if you are interested. You can also find more information on the app and how to register as part of the student community as shown on the screen at nus.edu.sg. Yep, and of course, if you do have any feedback related to Universe, you can direct it to universe@nus.edu.sg. Okay. Yep. So feel free to explore Universe. I think it's really comprehensive. It's really useful. I think especially as a freshman, to get used to NUS, to get used to the student life and the opportunities. And I think especially for resources lah. I think they also have the emergency contacts, which are very useful for you lah. Okay. So I've talked about Universe. So the next slide, I will be sharing a little bit more about NUSSing, or sometimes people call it NUS Sync. Earlier on, I think Wan Lin has mentioned about the student organizations and NUSSing in brief. So I'll just share a little bit more about this portal. So this NUSSing portal is actually very useful for you. I know some of you are really keen to start joining organizations, start participating in the activities. So you can actually just go to NUSSing portal and you can sign in using your NUS Net ID. So your NUS Net ID is the one that starts with E lah. Okay, so it's really useful. So I'm just gonna show you some screenshots of the portal. So when you sign in and you click on organizations, right, you can actually find the list of student organizations that is registered under NUSSing, and then you can just scroll through the entire list. So for example, in this case, you look at Artero, right, and you are interested in Artero. So you can just click on the Artero bar, and then the next slide will show you the what you will see. So when you click on it, you can see more details about the organization, and you can also scroll down further and you will be able to see the upcoming events that is happening lah, from the organization. And there's also the social media contacts, which you can actually explore lah, and see whether you are interested to join, and you can also join as a member. Yeah, okay. So let's say if you're interested in iCARE, right, you can just go to iCARE's organization page, and then you can scroll down and you will see like the upcoming events and the forms that they have lah. Yep. Okay, so next slide. We also do have the International Students page. This is under OSA website, Office of Student Affairs. So it lists very useful resources and links, which also includes the starter kit, which I'm sure a lot of you have received through email. But if you don't receive the starter kit yet, you can still search for it under the resources page, under International Students page on OSA lah. Yeah, so the links are shared with you on the chat, so you can just bookmark the page. Why is it very important for you to do this? It's because we will be updating welcome events and things like that lah, in the web page. Yep. So next page, next slide. Yep, so this is the welcome events page on the International Students page on OSA website. I know there's a lot of pages, a lot of words, right? But you can just take a look at the chat lah. There are the links that you can actually go to. So this welcome events page will constantly be updated with upcoming events and that you can actually participate in. So if you join in the page now, you can actually see the iCARE week link being updated. So do keep a lookout on this platform and this website for future updates on events that you can join. Yep. Okay. So next slide. And yes, so finally, I'll be sharing a little bit about the starter kit for international students. Like I've mentioned earlier, this is actually sent out through email to you, but you can also find it under the resources page on the OSA International Students page. So you can just download it, and I would say that it's actually very comprehensive. There are a lot of useful links and contact details for you, and important information on getting basic necessities. So I really want to urge you to explore that, because it's really very useful for you lah, as an international student. Yep. Okay. So I think these are the more important resources that you should have. And if you do have any queries or any questions related to student life, please feel free to ask us at osa_iss@nus.edu.sg, and we are sure to assist you wherever we can lah, with regards to student life. And of course, I just want to publicize our Instagram page. So you can also follow OSA on Instagram at NUS Student Affairs for more updates on what's happening lah in NUS. Yep. So that's the briefing by me from OSA. So by the way, our office is located at Yusof Ishak House, level 3. So if you are in campus, you probably that's where you can find us lah. Yep. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, OSA. So if you did not manage to catch that information, please do not worry, as this information can also be found in the starter kit that was sent out to all of you earlier. However, if you have any burning questions or concerns about any of the information that was displayed, do drop us a chat message and we will do our best to address your queries.
Okay, now for the moment that you've all been waiting for, the Kahoot quiz. Yay! Okay, so can we get everybody to whip up your phones to join us in the Kahoot quiz? To enter, right, just go to the following website, www.kahoot.it. You can do this on your phone or on your computer, but on your phone it's much easier to see the screen. Okay, then you just enter the game pin. The game pin without the spacing. So 2946124. Oh, I see someone who joined as family. Is that a Fast and Furious reference?
Of course, Kel, nothing is stronger than family.
Okay. Yes, come, join.
Okay, so we'll give, well, there are about 120 of you in the call, so okay, we'll give about a minute or so for people to join, or close to that number. Lots of interesting names here. I see Heisenberg.
Yeah, I was about to comment on that.
So what are we going to comment on it, Kel?
No, as in I was just going to comment that there are a lot of interesting names. Hello world. Hello. I like turtles. Okay, fun fact, I have a pet terrapin. Nobody asked, but I'm still going to share it. Seems like not many people are joining. Maybe we'll just give it like another 30 more seconds. So once again, when you enter the game pin, right, don't put in the spacing. If you're having any issues joining, just sound out in the chat, or you can direct message us on Zoom if you're shy. The music very groovy. Ryan, how are you not dancing to this? I don't understand.
Sorry. Should I be?
Yes. Ryan, there's a Brian.
I found my other self. Okay, so in the interest of time, because yes, we did overrun, so apologies for that, but thank you so much for sticking around. So I think we will close off the entrance here. So if yet to like enter your Kahoot name, please do so quickly.
Okay, we'll start at 4:30. Currently on my computer is 4:29. Okay, I think no one's joining. We can just start now. All right. Okay, what's the first question? Okay, so first question is, what does iCARE do? I hope you guys were paying attention just now. This is the moment of truth. Wow, you are answering so fast. I love this confidence. Okay, yes, the correct answer is all of the above. Majority of you guys got it, but iCARE is also one of the many support systems available in NUS. So if during your journey here, you feel like you need some help, feel free to reach out to them. Okay, next question. Sherlock. Okay, very befitting of the name. Which one of the following is not one of the 7 pit stop principles? Brian, what do you think?
What do I think?
What do you think?
I mean, I know which one is a principal because
The one that we both mentioned just now, right?
true. I'm not gonna give it away here. We're not giving free answers, but I wonder.
Okay. Oh, most of you guys got it also. You guys are so good. All right. So yes, travel is not one of the pit stop principles, although I think most of us would wish that we could travel freely nowadays, right? Because of the COVID restrictions.
I mean, yes, certainly. I mean, most of us would want to go around and travel again, but hopefully the situation improves soon and we can travel again, maybe next year for exchange or something.
Yes, I want to go on exchange too. All right, who's at the top now? Still Sherlock. Okay, amazing. But there are some people catching up, right? Like YT and Hazel.
Okay, yeah. So for those that don't know, Kahoot is fastest fingers first. So do send in your answers like quickly for more points.
Yes. So for this question, keyword is where, not when.
Yes, we will not give away the answer that easily.
All right, you guys got it. Okay, good job. So there's Zoom and YouTube. If you want to have a more like engaged experience, you can join on Zoom. But if you're a bit shy or you just want to watch it, then you can just join from the YouTube link. Okay, moving on. Sherlock is still on top. This is such like a, what do you call it? Intense competition.
Certainly, indeed. And I see that, okay, someone has the highest climber, I think 24 places. Impressive work.
Next question. Not included in the starter kit for international students. We hope you guys read your starter kit. Wow. Answers are coming in fast. This is a good sign. All right, so the answer is NUS Whispers. Unlike all the other options available, NUS Whispers is not an official NUS website. It's more like a forum. But do remember Luminous, EduRec, and NUSSing. These are very important links that you will use throughout your NUS journey here. Okay, let's see the rankings. Oh, okay. That smiley face guy, and who is catching up? But Sherlock is still on top. Which is not a student residence in NUS?
Which is not a student residence. I don't know, Carol. All of these seem pretty convincing. What do you think?
There's an imposter among us.
I wonder.
Okay, Stamford Hall. Okay, Stamford Hall is like the imposter. So just now I went to Google what is Stamford Hall, right? Apparently it's some England country house or something. So please, there's no Stamford Hall in NUS. And then, okay, fun fact, Prince George's Park House, it's a short form for PGPH, but there's also a Prince George's Park Residence, PGPR. So they are not to be confused.
Yes, okay, so let's now see the final leaderboards for today's Kahoot quiz. So in third place with 5 out of 5, we have, okay, I actually don't know what I'm supposed to say for the name here. Like jumping emoji. In second place, we have T. And in first place with 5 out of 5 as well, we have Sherlock.
Sherlock, congrats.
So congratulations to all our winners here. So for our winners of today's quiz, unfortunately, we cannot give you any prizes. So the only prize we can give you is your 10 seconds of fame on the Zoom call.
Yes.
So she'll leave this out for like 10 seconds, so that you can have your bragging rights. So nonetheless, we hope that all of you have gained a valuable prize in knowledge on NUS and Singapore in general. So thank you so much to all of you for being such enthusiastic participants. We really hope that you've learned a lot from today's live show. And Kel, anything to say?
Oh yes, thank you so much for joining, and to the guest speakers for taking the time to share your knowledge with us. We hope that you had a good time and learned a lot from today's session. Okay, so before you leave, right, do help us by giving your feedback by scanning the QR code or by clicking the link shared in the Zoom chat function. Okay, we'll be sending out later. This is so that we can improve for future iterations of this live show and continue to help incoming international students. Okay, thank you once again from the OSA and Launchpad team, and see you around. Wait, okay, before you leave, please stay. Where's the QR code for the feedback? Okay, yes, please do this feedback. Thank you so much. Any opinions that you have is appreciated. And if you have any questions for the speakers, right, feel free to stay back and you can unmute yourself or you can send them in the Zoom chat. No questions? Okay, if there are no other questions, then we'll just wrap up and we'll just end off for today. Thank you so much for coming. Hope you've learned a lot.
Thank you.